That's the America in you now.
And
Hell yeah.
and North, yeah, indeed. I'm getting really behind this American patriotism while living here now. But Gen.G, they'll start off with losing Kusta, and that's not the best, but they do have some catwalk control at the moment, so they can play off of this in a variety of ways. They're deciding to kind of oh dear, so that smoke was supposed to block off CT spawn to pressure for the B split, but at the same time, North have pushed upper dark, so North know that it's going to be an A play regardless. It's going to come down to their headshots here. Gen.G are going to have to be on point.
Yeah, Cajun.B backing off, knowing it's going to be a cat. He's trying to help reinforce Long. He is able to pick off Automatic, the solo man for Gen.G in that area of the map. It's now all reliant on how successful this catwalk cross is going to be. They get the plant, but this retake is coming up from behind. AZ and MSL combined for 2, leaving Vintet all by his lonesman. While he's a fantastic player, that is a task too tall. And it is going to be North locking things down in the first one of this map.
What's really cool here, though, Dust, is that now as Gen.G gets to, they get to play off their spawns. This is maybe one of the most spawn-heavy maps in terms of on the T side. It really impacts your decision-making a lot. So if they get like really good long spawns or B spawns, we're going to see perhaps the T side have options to go for a force buy where they could really do a lot here. And they'll pull out a Krieg, an AK, a Scout, a lot of nades as well. There is some sacrifices with those guns being dropped, which will leave both Som and Daps, what's left carrying pistols, but ultimately this is a scary, scary round in terms of the firepower for the T side. Gen.G even look better in terms of firepower right now.
Yeah, I'm curious with Gen.G starting out on this T side, how things are going to go. There's not much data on what their T side does too. Looks like there was only that one Riot Squad game I could go back and watch, and I kind of have an idea on how they set up their default and some of the roles they have established, but I'm not really sure what the nuances of their play are just yet. What I can say, though, is that Som has come in hot this tournament. He is ranked number 2 for opening kills per round and ranked number 2 as well for success in opening duels. He's also statistically the best player for Gen.G so far this tournament. He's got some great headshot percentage and headshots per round as well. That's not quite as valuable, but the point is that he's getting the damage in, and he also is number 5 in kills per round. So he's definitely been putting in the digits, and he's playing an important role on Dust 2 for this team as kind of that secondary entry fragger next to Daps and Automatic's AWP. So we'll have to see what he can do.
And it's going to be a slower start in this round where, Gen.G, they didn't have any particularly great spawns anywhere, but that's fine. They will still be able to get catwalk control pretty much for free. The opening from North was really safe. They went 3 towards long and 2 towards B at the beginning of the round, and then you kind of get that one of those long players back onto the A site who has also options to go to CT if there's a lot of mid pressure. Very standard default safe stuff from North so far. And Gen.G, if they do go for that B split, that would be the best call in terms of the rotation times for the A players. They'll be locked out of that rotation for quite some time if that smoke hits CT, which looks like it is hitting CT right now.
Indeed it is. Smoke is out. We do see Som already leading the charge up towards window. Gade, though, a great timing on that peak, is able to get a kill. MSL also pitching in. Daps is making some headway in B, though, and he's gotten Kusta's help as well, so they lock the site down. They will plant, and we know how hard this site is to retake, Dan. 3-on-3. Can North get it done?
Very difficult indeed. A couple players coming from the tons here, so Automatic will be able to spot that. And this actually might work out. That's actually a lurk smoke. Did that go deep enough? Looks like it did. Automatic knows what's up behind this, though. Pulls out the Glock to play more close. Doesn't know how many players are behind this, so it's just Automatic with that Glock. Not ideal. Let's see if he can do much here. He actually gets attacked with the Scout. Kusta finishes him off, and now it's just going to be Cajun.B left in the tunnels all by himself, dropping a smoke to try to fade away out of this one, keep that gun into the next round, which he will be able to do, but Gen.G, converting that force buy with that B split, they really punished North for playing safe. I mean, playing safe doesn't mean you're actually playing without risk in Counter-Strike. Everything is a risk to a certain extent, and Gen.G was smart enough to know how to punish.
Yeah, mid-B is very hard to deal with on this map, and then B retakes are especially difficult, and it really does help tease out whenever you're able to pull off a play where the A rotation is not quite in place. It means those 2 players towards B are very isolated. The assistance isn't going to come until it's a little bit too late. And what this allows is Gen.G to go ahead and get a scrappy start to the game, get a 1-1 split, and force North into a very low force buy on their own right. Meanwhile, they've been able to pick up, an M4 for free for Som. They have their rifles out on everyone else. Automatic is a very capable rifler. I actually prefer whenever they run the 5 rifle setups, to be honest, because I feel like that's where Automatic really thrives. And so they're well set up as they're just going to open up, fairly default. Bentet playing outside long A, Kusta B tunnels. This is Gen.G's bread and butter from what I saw in their 1D2 game they do have with Bentet. So everything looks pretty familiar. as they just kind of slowly get some map control.
Gen.G being fairly aggressive there. That Molotov, he's actually going to try to play in front of it, which is very risky. As that molly could have actually been a setup to take Catwalk, so he's just out there by himself, willing to go for the challenge. And of course, at this point, taking a risky battle, even if it's disadvantageous, given that they have poor weaponry, is worth it. And here comes the walk into the B site. It's a good start from Gage, but it's only one. And there's only one more on the bomb site, but not anymore. Some will deal with AZ very easily, and perhaps North just want to save what they have now. It doesn't really seem like they can even do too much in terms of exits, because Benta has tunnels control, so there's nothing really for North to do here.
Yeah, it is pretty much done and dusted after those 2 entries from Sam. Again, we were talking about how he is topping the charts when it comes to opening kills per round and opening duel success, and you're seeing those opening duels again favor him. 2 big shots to open up B and lock in the round for Gen.G to go up 2-1, and it's nice to see, because again, I feel like there's 2 different camps about Sam. There's those who think that he's this next young up-and-coming player to really keep an eye on that can be, you know, that next generation for North American Counter-Strike. And then there's some who have seen him struggle, you know, with his first kind of run in professional Counter-Strike with Envy, and, you know, kind of have the complete opposite idea of where Sam stands. And I'm somewhere in the middle. Like, I don't think he's done enough yet to prove he's a prospect, but I certainly think it's a bit unfair to critique him too harshly, because Envy was not a great environment. So I'm hoping underneath Daps' tutelage, maybe he is going to see that next step in his career take place. And he's had a good tournament so far. Now it's a great round from him there.
Yeah, I think there's actually a lot of comparisons you can make to this lineup in the Mouseballs team, but we'll get into that in a moment. We do get a cheeky kill out of Som there, just tapping away through the doors. I know that's definitely not most people's least favorite part about Dust 2 is how you get you have to like spend a smoke to try to cover safely towards B, so that's already a smoke gone. And on top of that, you're still not guaranteed to be safe, and sometimes you just get to take a lot of damage or die outright, and that just kind of sucks. So welcome to Dust 2.
Yeah, Bentech coming out. He's actually a bit quiet in some of the maps that Gen.G has played thus far, but hasn't really been required, to be fair. So I want to see him break out, though, because we know how much potential that guy has.
Oh my God, yeah.
Skilled player. KRB, not long for this world, stuck behind Game Helper. Bentech flexing that SG, getting the headshot, getting into a 4-on-2. And to be fair, we weren't expecting much, were we, Dan? I mean, North didn't really have it. You know, they tried to go for the 4 spy previous round. It didn't pan out. This is the punishment they now must receive. But next round, maybe we'll see them be able to get back into the mix. But great start here so far from Gen.G. They will move in here, get this bomb planted, and this is just a formality at this point. This should be done with. Although I have to say, they did at least get a couple of rifles to get out of this round, so that's good. Picked up a fallen weapon from Daps.
I do feel like, you know, you're talking about Benta, I feel like if this team does find its legs, if it, you know, strategically team play, you know, they find their style, they start to get that routine, everything's kind of clicking. I feel like we might see that world-class level out of Benta, because his ceiling is actually just unbelievable. Yeah. And he just needs that opportunity. And I think that goes similarly for Som, as you mentioned. I think that people do sometimes jump to conclusions, and there are so many teams where young talent can be squandered, because young talent does need good leadership and mentorship. It needs experienced players to bring them up. It needs a system that they can actually thrive within, and there's too few of those, unfortunately. But when you do, you know, have the right environment, that's when you can see some real magic. And I agree with you. I think having people like Daps, having people like Automatic on a team very experienced, and someone like Kusa as well, it gives so much space and mentorship, experience, and just good vibes in general for someone like Som, who's a new talent to come up.
And going back to Bentech, he's also just so flexible, man. Like, he can be a playmaker on the edges of the map on default, you know, playing those peripheral roles, which he's kind of done a lot in his past. Reminds me of like an old school Nico or a Shox in that way. But he also, when you are going for execute, you put him in the trading mix, and he's going to be able to light people up. And also, he can be that second voice. He has some experience being an in-game leader in his own right, and maybe he can be that guy next to Daps that helps pitch ideas and things of that nature. So I think that he's going to prove to be invaluable for this team going forward. But here we go. A little push through dark here this time around, and Sam, he's out there fighting with no weapon the last few rounds. He's still getting the job done, Dan. So, I mean, what a lad.
Playing Quake with no draw gun.
Yeah.
Or Unreal Tournament, they love doing that as well.
Maybe he's using like laser beams from his eyes or something. Who knows?
Yeah, it's whatever it is, it's working.
Yep.
And it's going to be a 5v3 here. So they got that long control. There's no real issue in finishing off this round. Will just make their way happily towards that A bomb site. And a lot of this is because, you know, And you know, for you guys just thinking, oh, this is a real slow start to the game, and this happens because the worst thing that could possibly happen to your economy happened to North, where they win the pistol, then they lose to a force buy. Because when you, obviously in the current economy, for those of you that haven't stayed up to date, if you lose the pistol round, you get $1,900 in the next round. But the problem is that that's completely negated. If you win the pistol, you had Loving Life, you lose against the force buy, and then you're on $1,400 with like zero money in the bank. So you get absolutely wrecked. On the CT side of Dust 2 as well, you need AWPs, you need full utility, it's the biggest buys possible, and you can't get there for ages if you lose that second against that force buy. So really rough start for North. It couldn't be more ideal for Gen.G. Yeah. It really couldn't. If they have a solid game plan going into this, Dust, this is just the perfect place to play it out of. They have full control, so much control of the game right now.
Yeah. Kind of curious to see how North's CT side shapes up. I know with MSL coming as a primary opper, you know, he's obviously going to be, you know, being dynamic and mobile and trying to make things happen, but it's also going to come down to, I feel like AZ. Like, AZ's had a really good tournament so far. He's that B rotator, he's that secondary opper. I feel like he's going to be called on a lot to make big plays in the middle, and then whether or not Gade can anchor that B bomb site, because so far we've seen Gen.G test B and be successful there, and I feel like Gade is going to have to step it up in these gun rounds, but we'll see if that can happen. They are at least on a full purchase again, so that's nice. A little bit limited on utility, but they still do have all the rifles.
So we're going to get that burst out of the B. And of course, there's been those skybox changes here to the upper tunnels. So there are options to toss nades through the tunnels. Looks like they're going with the old approach. No new nades there, but oh god, Gade is going to make his way through, or try to. He'll get traded out though, and AC's doing a fantastic job. He's got that Krieg in hand, and he's absolutely decimating them. It's up to Bentet here, looking to try to finish it off with a door. Can't quite get there. He's close though. He has a lot of time to try to make this one work. The smoke for the door, the molly for the window, and it just barely catches Kirby as he is able to pick up the bomb en route. And now he can go for the plant. The re-molly there. A bit deep, but won't matter too much. Will he anticipate MSL? MSL is a very fast timing. Bentet's internal clock may not account for this in time. He might not turn around, although it seems like he will. Bentet, you can't pull the wool over this man's eyes. He's going to nail it. What a clutch from him.
That is fantastic stuff from Bentet. No doubts about that. When AZ got those kills from window, the 3, you thought it was going to be absolutely done with, but Bentet had different plans. Such an incredibly smart player, very mechanically gifted. And it just goes to show, even when you have a heavy advantage, sometimes retaking B can be a nightmare. And it's also added nightmare fuel when you have to go up against Bentet.
Yeah, and I love, you know, we were just talking about him as well, and you know how in the previous games his performance wasn't really demanded. There weren't so many spots for us like Bentet. You got to go out there and deliver for us. We see, you know, the first real instance of that straight away in this game, and he delivers that beautiful clutch. And right now, you know, North, they've had a lot of very difficult situations on Dust 2. Obviously, Endpoint really gave them a run for their money yesterday. And it seems like those struggles don't end here today.
No, certainly not. With the double op's already out in play, we talked about this last round where AZ is going to be that guy with the second op as kind of the B rotator, or maybe even just let him anchor B at the back of the platform, give Gade some freedom with the rifle to patrol middle. And that could maybe be the adjustment that helps North out, because so far it has not been a nice half to them. They're also getting aggressive at long. You can see Gen.G is actually pressed up close. Now Bentet, again, that long A anchor on defaults for Gen.G, is certainly keeping his eyes open for any type of further aggression. I'm not sure that he would have spotted Gen.G slip in. So we'll have to see if that plays a role in things. Looks like they are attacking Cat, so if Bentet goes late to long on some type of A split, then Gen.G has a chance to get that kill on Bentet, control long as an anchor point for future retaking and really limiting the power of this attack.
So I like this. It's a really big change of pace for Gen.G. They've been pretty fluid, but
there it is.
The catch from Gen.B is huge. Bentet going down there means that Gen.G have some decisions to make. They decide to commit towards this A bomb site. Will they be able to do much though? Kirby with the fast kill on the Kusa, the fall back to long. They've got that retake positioning set up now in a 5v3. This will be impossibly hard for Gen.G to hold on to this plant. MSL is going to start shutting down some of those longer positions. Able to hit the shot, and look at that. Gen.G diving into the CT spot. They're bringing the fight straight to North. North had a 5v3. They are failing, though, and now it's up to Gen.G and Gade, and they are playing alone on either side of this retake. And Gade's now wondering, what the hell has just happened to my teammates? I've got nothing to work with. He's able to get a kill to keep his gun in the round, but what the hell happened there, Dust?
I have no idea. Gen.G gets the opening kill on that situation we were discussing where Bentet wasn't quite aware that he had slipped in. He gets killed. That kills Bentet's option to kind of be a part of an A split or help cutting off, retake options, maybe backstabbing the pit player when he tries to go, through long to help attack the slope. And so that option's off the board. Kusta also gets caught. And I think what is great about this, though, is Gen.G, knowing that they're in a 3-on-5, that their chances are limited, know they have to take a gamble. They have to do something. And so they decide to drop in the CT spawn. They catch a couple of kills off of that play that I imagine North were not anticipating. And then there it just snowballed. That's absolutely incredible stuff from Gen.G. You have to give them props, but also if you're North, man, you got to be shaking your head about that one. That one should have been in the bag.
It is actually so smart as well, because a lot of teams do like that retake through CT spawn, and they knew that that initial setup was on long. So yeah, it's like we don't have long control, we don't have cat control, but we can take CT control right now, so let's get ahead of the retake attempt, and that's beautiful. And there are some teams too that really like to wait a long time to set up, like get everybody into position, and and we're going to wait before and that's we're going to wait until that point, until we go for that retake.
I think the other one was just Automatic winning the 1v1 op duel through long from the platform. I think was a big shot to hit. If MSL, who was holding that angle, gets that kill, maybe there's still a way for North to lock in the round, but for that moment, it wasn't there. And so off to a hot start is Gen.G. They've been absolutely tearing it up after losing Pistol. They have won 6 in a row now, and a lot of these rounds have been pretty damn convincing.
Going for that long challenge again. Daps poking, prodding at the corner. He will eventually get taken down by the Deagle, but they've gained a lot of kills and also space on the map, so they won't be too concerned about that.
Yeah, this is just kind of a mop-up round for Gen.G, isn't it? The economy's not there for North, and the more I think about it, it's actually insane how many rounds Gen.G have pulled out that they shouldn't have. I mean, AZ gets the hat trick spray down at B, Bentet clutches. That round, North has a 5-on-3, getting the 2 opening kills, still lose the round. And so it's hard to figure out if it's like Gen.G making smart plays in small number of situations, or if North is really just dropping the ball. Likely a combination of the two, as it usually is. But man, North need to figure something out soon.
I think it's compounded by the fact that I think Dust 2 is maybe the worst map to have your economy kind of ruins like this, because your low econ options for CT buys is really non-existent on this map. There's pretty much every other map you can make it work, but Dust 2, the ranges are so huge, the choke points are so wide that generally it's like you need firepower, you need utilities, and we don't see that really happening for North. And I think you're right, like, I think Gen.G have just been playing a great start really well. And I think that 5v3, it does look kind of bad, but at the same time, Gen.G, they understood the one way that they could win the round, and they just went for it. And I think that's got to show great communication and synergy already, because to get your whole team on board with that in a moment, just on the fly, is that takes definitely some confidence and preparation. And it seems like they're really feeling it right now.
Yeah, it's been a pleasant surprise to watch Gen.G come out so hot like this. I mean, beating Complexity yesterday on Inferno, I think, was huge, or the first day, rather. Just, especially since Complexity was hot after the Blast series. And we just didn't really know what to expect from Gen.G, because if we're honest, I mean, the core of Daps, Kusta, and Automatic had played together at Cloud9, when they were trying to play with Mixwell and originally 10s, and then they had like Sub Rosa very briefly before it all fizzled out. And that didn't look good. I mean, they were playing really, really poorly. Things were not working out, and so it's like, is changing 2 players really going to make the difference? And so far this tournament, it really has. I mean, they're really, turning heads, and the players were confident. We were talking to them beforehand, in different interviews. I know Boxity talked to the Automatic for about an hour, and Automatic is like one of the best teams he's ever played for, even, compared to the Cloud9 team that won the major. So they had the confidence internally, but it's sometimes that can be misleading. But in this case, so far, it's been up to snuff. But back to the full bias North, double op is going to be back in play again. Yeah,
we've got that abuse of just the fast timings down middle here. Now the cat setup for North could make this really interesting, because Gen.G aren't actually they're going for these early entries towards both B and CT spawn. That's beautiful, actually. They caught the timing where one of the CT usually splits off from B. Beautiful way to find a pick. Kirby, he's got to make something happen. He's coming in from Catwalk as this push now starts, and he will catch a flank kill there onto Automatic. There are still 2 left for Gen.G, but the bomb is down in no man's land. Neither player has quick access to it. Kusta has a B bomb site, but again, without a bomb, it's not going to help him too much. And considering that Bentez all the way on the other side of the map, on the A site, this is a grim look.
It's a grim look unless Bentech gets unchecked. They might be thinking both of these guys are towards the B site or B tunnels. But as time passes, they'll start considering. We do actually see Gay decide to jump in for a 1v1 with the bomb down lower tons. And that might be a problem, but at least Gen.G is able to catch Bentet. Now it's all on Kusta. Gen.G is low on health. That might help a bit later on down the road. But still, getting this bomb back in his possession, especially now that they know where he is going to be a real problem, and time is very limited also.
There's the molly. That is really a killer. 7 seconds, longest 7 seconds ever for Kusta, but he can still maybe actually make this happen. Oh, this is so smart from North. They know that he doesn't have time to go to the A site and plant. He has to go to B, so they're going to let him take the bomb, not take a fight. He's forced to grab the bomb and just try to run desperately to B, where they have obviously a million different setups they could possibly run that would be very, very favorable, and that's exactly how it pans out. Very smart from North.
Yep. Great reactionary stuff. Just give up B. Gate's like, I got to focus on mid. And he's able to come together. Also, KRB had a nice flank off Catwalk. He was already playing an aggressive position there to begin with, so he just kind of leveraged that to respond to all of the mid attacking and was able to also have some impact in that round. So finally, North, after losing 7 in a row, again, all they had to their name prior to that was the pistol round victory before being immediately ecoed.
And the crazy thing there is that North actually got a little bit lucky because that was the round that they decided to do more of a catwalk setup.
Right.
In many of the rounds, they haven't decided to do that, which is somewhat normal. And had they not had Kirby on that catwalk setup, they wouldn't have had a flank there. And what's genius about Gen.G is Gen.G perhaps have done the research. They saw that there's a very default timing where the B player splits off to get info in mid, and they were set up there with an AWP at a very fast time to pick him. They got the pick and then turn it into a B split. That should have won them the round, but Kirby's position changed it all.
Right. They're also knowing that AZ is toting that second AWP, and unless he's playing back B platform, he's probably posted up somewhere in that area that you're discussing, and Unamatic decides to take the duel and he gets it, which is nice. I know Unamatic was struggling a bit with the AWP in some duels yesterday. I know Potter was mentioning that on the desk, and you know, again, it's not a natural position for him when you think about the majority of his career, but we know that he's a very studious player and a very intelligent player, and so I'm sure he's been poring over demos, trying to figure out angles he wants to take, timings he wants, and then obviously scouting his opponent and what to expect from them, as he is going to be taking his AWP this time. Poached up on Cat, again, looking for AZ to perhaps take a look at mid, but not going to happen this time.
Oh, that's a double, actually. Both Automatic and Som feeling the pain, but they're both alive, which is actually very important because they're all carrying grenades at this point, which is very useful. And oh no, AZ's gone down with the AWP. He goes for another pick towards that catwalk position, and Som just nails him with the Krieg. And that's a huge issue. You can see the rotation coming in from the CTs now, dropping down CT spawn. They've got 3 towards B, and Gade is going to die to what looked like a one-way from Kusta. They're out of the lurk smoke, and all of a sudden it's a desperation play. Kirby barely squeezes through the window, but ultimately he will just go down. It's not going to work out at all, and this is just falling apart from North after that pick onto AZ.
Yeah, another win-win, lose-one for North. I mean, luckily, they still have some loss bonus built up, but with them having bought down to their bottom dollar in this one, it's still not going to leave them a whole lot to spend, which gives Gen.G a great chance to start working towards another round and getting ever closer to double digits on a T-side dust too. And that's just great reactionary CS from Gen.G. I mean, you know, AZ, they see that he's taking some looks at middle. It took a while. It was delayed. Automatic had been waiting for it for so long. It didn't come, but when it finally did, Som was able to get the jump on him. Again, Som getting those opening kills, that opening duel success. Again, he's ranked in the leaderboards, I think, #2 in both those categories, and he's rolling that over into this map. He's finding some great openings for his team. And then the way that Kusta, you know, just used that smoke to get in there. Well done to unlock B, and that's 8 now for Gen.G, and only an AWP being saved over from MSL. And there's not much they can buy around it. Only like Gen.B and AZ have money to spend, really.
Yeah, good effort from MSL. They went hard trying to take him down, but he managed to keep it alive. So that's a big play for him and his team. But yeah, it does feel like, I mean, Gen.G got a great start, and that's the fastest possible Xbox smoke, FYI. Clip it if you want to bring that into your own game. But yeah, it's really good to see. Oh no. Oh God, it's just so painful. Yeah, it's just, I mean, nothing can go right for North. I mean, that's not just unfortunate. Automatic's holding that timing.
It's like Automatic's thinking to myself, all they have is one AWP. They need to make a play with it. What are the likely plays that an op can go for in a situation? Maybe a quick cat. He just sets up perfectly for it. So that's good thinking from Automatic. At least Kierby's able to recover that AWP and keep it in play, and he's able to find a kill as well. So he evens the numbers back up a bit, but still, North are well behind in the round when it comes to overall firepower and map positioning. They're kind of locked on Cat, full on in control for Gen.G. As long as they can have someone cover the back, they can still keep an eye on the cross. There is 2 smokes, though, to block Gen.G's vision, and some flashes to work with as well.
Counter smoke for Cajun just to slow things down. That smoke can actually buy a lot of time, but there's very little behind it, so they don't really have that many ways to use that smoke, fortunately. But there, with a 1D, perhaps there could be some room to work with for North in this round. But they do have the AWP on Kierby, so they may not want to commit that AWP unless there's a good argument to do so, which would be a couple kills. Surely they don't want to commit too much to this. I'm really worried about that AWP.
They have a kit and AK now too, Dan, so I don't know. If he could have hit that shot, I think that would have been the sign to go, but Sam is holding it off. And that's it. They're going to back off it, I think. I don't know. This pistol just wants to linger around, see if he can get an exit, but the main guns are out of here.
Yeah. It's sometimes a really interesting factor where you have these situations. I think it most commonly happens on Inferno, where the Ts will have the bomb site, the bomb's been planted. It's kind of a not sure type situation for the CTs, and then someone tries to go for a play, and then they get a kill, and then they commit the rest of their team in, all the money, all the weapons, to a pretty bad spot, and then everyone loses their guns, as opposed to just having the full save. Sometimes you can actually try to give a kill to the other team if you feel very confident in your site hold, to make them waste all of their money. You don't really see people do that deliberately, but I feel like that's something that might start happening in the future.
So far, so good, though, for Gen.G. Firing on all cylinders. Their fire distribution is 9 kills for the top player, 6 for the bottom, so a really nice spread there for them, getting full contributions out the entire lineup and really dominating this half, if we're honest. Again, Automatic with the AWP. This time he's going to be prodding into that B bomb fight. Does spot one. That's gate off the board already. There still is AZ, though, playing this corner. They need to make sure that they clear this out. Meanwhile, Bentet's already caught a rotation at middle. He just happened to be drifting around for long and catches one down mid.
AZ, this is your moment to shine. Here they go. Takes down the first one. Assistance is on the way. Nice peek from Som, though. Wow, make it 2 from Som. And I felt like there was a moment there. There was a moment, it was about to happen for North, but Som shuts it down with really without any afterthought. And another round that North get crushed in. And it kind of sucks in a way, because... So maybe you won't understand this reference that's about to come, Dust. So in Quake World, I'm a game that's well over 20 years old, but in 4 versus 4, there was this concept, this idea called a full start, right? And it's where you get all the right spawns, your entire team gets to start with basically full map control and all the important items. And even if you're a worse team, if you get that full start and you know how it plays out, the cadence of it, all the decision making, it just comes down to hitting shots. It feels like that's where Gen.G have been. They got a great start and they have just played out that beautiful start perfectly, and they're just going to go for a full-out B-rush here, Dust. I don't think this is going to go too well for North.
Leading it. That's unbelievable.
Oh my God.
But the kills are going the way of North. The problem, Bentet, hold the phone. He's not done with this round just yet. He's gotten a couple of big kills, which means that they can put these smokes down and start working their way into this B site for the bomb plant. Now, Bentet is low on health. And there is an incendiary here on AZ, as well as, of course, having the op, and there's a couple of rifles as well to use for Gen.G and Kierby. So they could still work this retake out. They do have that man advantage, but again, it's so hard to pry this open.
It's going to be 2 steady pairs of hands in Automatic and Bentet, despite them being very weak, both picking up those AWPs, and it's going to be a difficult one now, especially that it's just Automatic alone with the AWP. He'll get taken down, and I have no idea how North actually held that. I forget who it was entering with the MAC-10. Was it Sam or Som?
I thought it was Sam.
That really needed to go a little bit better, that first kill, and very well done to North to recover from that initial kind of wonky setup at the very beginning. And a round coming from the most unlikely of places. It really looked like Gen.G had caught North completely off guard there.
Absolutely. I would agree to that. Double op is going to be again in play for North. Similar by that Gen.G's had almost every round still in play for them. Sam's really been on point with that SG. Bentet's quietly getting big numbers in his own right. Here comes another mid challenge. Just on a new angle from Automatic. He gets tagged, still alive and able to get out of there, just barely, but he does escape. Able to live for another fight in this one.
You could actually see AZ was frustrated by that on the player cam there.
Yeah, he had him dead to rights, it looked like. I mean, he knew exactly where he was. He was angling perfectly, just happened to either hit a little bit through the door or just hit a leg or something. Just didn't quite hit the mark fully.
Also have a cat set up here. They're looking to punish the default. They actually want to end the rounds as Gen.G set up around that default catwalk control around that 1 to 110 mark. And here goes the flashbang. It's pretty big, but not big enough. Only one kill, but there's 2 players behind it. Gen.G will toss the nades before going forwards, and North will commit. Cajun almost gets all 3 in the spray, but it's the molly to finish it off as another nade sails in. And now Bentet once again is demanded as 1v3. And he has time, but this is surely going to be quite the task. MSL's on that AWP, and Bentet's going all the way to the bomb boxes. Oh no, MSL's going to whiff the shot. Bentet, now there's a way to pull this one off. He's trying to bait them out into the open. He can't quite do that just yet, though. They're not in position to attack him. He'll have a moment to breathe as he gets the bomb down. Bentet now looking to try to isolate these players into 1v1s. There is the crab walk. Oh God, it's happening, isn't it? Bentet, he's doing it. 1 more to go. He can't find it in time. Gade had a very forward position. Bentet, it was the one spot he wasn't anticipating.
Oh man. You wanted to believe it was definitely formulating in the right direction. The way he caught out MSL was so brilliantly done. As MSL was trying to backpedal to set up for the retake and allow the plant, Bentet said, nah, I'm going to catch you on your way out. And set himself up for a winnable 1v2. We'll give some credit to North on the early part of the round. That was a great little cat setup, as well as AZ challenging middle, getting tag damage on, Automatic, really softening him up. And just the way that they played off their flashes and such at cat with those 2 players was really brilliant, to be fair. So they did some initial groundwork to get to that point. They let it slip a little bit where they were able to grasp on right at the very end. And MSL trying to use that momentum, finds an opening pick on Daps.
I love the confidence there, honestly. You got to be confident to go for those, and they're 4-10 down. You know, that's some big balls there from MSL to go for that mid peak. And maybe they've just anticipated punishing the constant abuse of the mid timings, but long is taken by Gen.G. They've got that under control for now, despite being down a man. And given the fact that they are down a man, they may just go for the full committed play here. It doesn't make sense to try to spend a lot of time around the rest of the map. And Automatic's looking for that deep peak, but North not giving it to him just yet. They probably know that this is happening now. The Southkeys are certainly there. In they go, up a ramp, and oh my! Cajun found a forward position for a frag, and that actually works out really nicely. Oh, Som though, finding one around the side of the smoke. Wow, I thought Kirby had the position there to really keep things under control.
It was looking good for North initially, but now it's starting to crumble. Big kills from Som, gets Gen.G the advantage in the bomb plant. Gade and Bentet are going to make some exchanges. MSL left alone, and Bentet the closer, 17 kills to his name. Som also a big impact with those 13 frags. What a half from Gen.G.
You get a 4 rounds, it's something. But they need a hell of a resurgence here against Gen.G as we switch to the second half.
Indeed, they are going to need everything. And it's worth noting that they have a pretty good playbook on Dusty. They have some nice set pieces, some good utility usage. MSL's known to be a crafty guy that comes up with some nice, tactics and get a good structure behind his team. So I'm confident that they can at least show us a bit of something on T-side, as long as they can not get immediately eradicated by Gen.G winning the opening pistol and the opening buy, and they don't even really get a chance to get any breathing room to play their T-side. But if they can get that a little bit of space, I think they can make this a close contest. But yeah, tip your hat to Gen.G. They've been playing some great Counter-Strike throughout this tournament, and that was a great half. But here we go into the pistol. Looks like an A-split from North. They have some utility behind it as well.
Readying the splits. The classic A split on Dust 2. Name a more classic strat than that. Some there by the car position.
Rush B.
Well, fair enough. Touche. He has a great spot with that USP. It can deliver a lot if he has the right distraction at play, if he's got a good timing. And he's been on so far with those headshots. Automatic, oh, he's under a lot of pressure, gets instantly killed, as will Som. So trying to back out of CT spawn, they have been smoked off. That's a great smoke to throw. You can toss that one from long. That blocks off CT, and Gen.G has to reroute the retake attempt all the way through Catwalk, and North have a very good idea about this. They'll hear the stepping. They've got great positions. And they've even got some upgrades as well. And they're still playing the headshot position. Bentet takes him down. Bentet takes down AZ as well. He is a pistol master as he pushes in, closing the distance, but there's too many North players.
Yeah, they just had way too much control of that round through and through. It's going to be almost impossible. It's going to take some type of Herculean effort. And Bentet, he was trying. He was putting his best foot forward. He was getting a couple of kills, but it just never quite got to the boiling point to where they could really get it going. And so that is going to be North to 5 rounds. We do see the force up from Gen.G. 2 scouts going to be included in that. Full buy-up, of course, from North. They're going to open up with a long A spawn, so they're going to go ahead and push through. A lot of utility damage, though, has been done. KB does get the entry, though, at long A, but still, there are some softened targets out there, Dan. That makes things dangerous with those 2 scouts in play. You know, 1 bullet now can kill 4 of those players.
No, you're
even
completely
not a headshot.
Right. Oh, there's even more HEs to come. Oh, God. That's actually chunky damage again to the players that weren't already wounded. And again, those scouts do become very dangerous, but there's just 1 in play now, but they can't quite get any opportunities to really shoot. And that's just going to leave Daps and Som with their pistols. But still, the Deagle can be quite meaty in the damage that it can deal. So maybe there's another kill or 2 to be had. And Gen.G, what do they decide to do? They could try to save the Kevlar into the next round.
Yeah.
And that might be the best option, given that they have no position to work from. Daps is playing that soft exit position, not too committed.
Right. Those are some thick boy grenades, though. I will say that. They got a lot of work done, and it started to make you sweat a little bit if you were a fan of North, because, again, one-shot body shots from scouts were going to take out almost anyone on that team at that point. The CZs, the Deagles, they were going to have an easier time cutting through, but great work from KRB, MSL, and AZ, able to get the kills they need to lock things up despite the dangers they were facing early on, and that will put them to 6. And no money for Gen.G, so it should be a free 7th for North, and that's where things get interesting, because now the gap's starting to close a little bit. North can start finding their footing, but it all comes down to the opening gun round. That's whenever we'll see what North really made of.
That's pretty cool too. Som, because of the bomb blast, was able to rescue a scout, which is really useful. Sometimes it can be smart to try to hang out and see if the bomb will send any guns your way. And in this case, a scout's collected, so we have to see if that scout's going to be good for any kills. Automatic, obviously, great with a sniper, as is Kusa. And by the way, this is so annoying. Oh God, it's so annoying. People are way too good at that. Lining it up behind the door to get the headshot. And there you go. Som saved the scout thanks to the bomb blast. And look at how it's been converted in the following round.
Yeah, that is a nasty one from Automatic to kick things off. It slows everything down for North. It forces them to have to work with less resources now. Let's see what they want to do here. Taking things very cautiously, trying to control up Catwalk. AZ leading the charge, a new role for him on this map for this team. We'll talk about that a bit later, because right now we need to focus in on the speed of this attack into the A site.
Gade will lead the charge with that Galil, and Gen.G, they don't really have too much to say for themselves here on this A bomb site. The bomb will be planted for short. Gade holding a nice off angle, so AZ playing from a more elevated position, so you can see they're just absolutely owning this one. Really good response from North, given that they had troubles at the beginning of the round. The scouts really creating problems, and another connection, Automatic. He knows that
even though North are winning these rounds, Dan, Gen.G's making them feel it. They're going to take their wounds on the way out each time, which I think it keeps Gen.G confident. They're still doing damage, they're getting frags, even in rounds where they have no business winning. They're posing threats, and that certainly helps them out, I imagine. We're going to get to the opening gun round next. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say, yeah, it definitely feels good. It makes a difference to feel like even though you got nothing, that you're still putting the pain on, and it's not just a round where you're just getting ravaged.
Yeah. But with the opening gun round coming up, again, you're going to notice some differences from North. KRB taking outside long A, so he's kind of back to more of a lurky peripheral role type thing, even though he's classically known as kind of a secondary entry player. And they have AZ actually taking over the secondary entry role. And he's actually top 5 in the tournament so far for, opening duel success. So I think that's interesting kind of role swap, and I know AZ, pretty decent player in the past, but never really known as a star, but I feel like now he's getting a role that's meant for star players, and I want to see if he can live back up to that name again, because I know in the past this guy was a prospect, and so it'd be cool to see him do that again, and so far he's had a really good tournament. So, and KRB's been successful in this role. He's actually one of the top players in the tournament. He's been kind of a seesaw player lately. He had like a really good Berlin Major run and a couple other good tournaments where he popped off, but he's also had his struggles like at the EPL finals and at Malmö. So what kind of player is he going to be the rest of the playoffs is going to be the question, as it's that slow default from North.
Automatic upgrading to the AWP, playing that cat position. You can, as a cat, you can just drop off if you want to. He's going to drop off after getting the frag. Nice one. And repositioning. So North, they managed to get cat under control, but at a cost. And Automatic's going back for more here. Elevating himself on elbow, looking for another kill. And they seem wise to this, playing very deep. Very cautious indeed. Automatic picking up this position again. He was flashed off. You're going to flash it again, it seems, because Automatic's back. And he's back with a vengeance. Another kill. That might be too much damage. I don't know how North will recover from this. They'll try. They're going to force it in. They've got no other choice after those 2 kills. But Bentet's the man lurking a ramp. There is a Molotov to try to force him into an awkward position, but he still gets the kill, and Automatic's out there as well. This just really seems like a hopeless situation for North. How will they find their way out of this one?
If you fire off that ramp, you better be careful what you wish for, and Bentet's playing that position. It forces him out, sure, but then he gets the fight that he wants and gets the kill and keeps the advantage for Gen.G. 4-on-2 right now. KRB and AZ trying to see if they can't hold on. It's going to be so difficult, though. So many resources that Gen.G have at their disposal to convert this one and get to 12 rounds as they start working their way in. Now the Boa Constrictor is clamping down. KRB, though, good for 1 kill, but now it's all up to him. He's so far away. There's not much he can do. Kills will go Gen.G's way. They'll get the defuse, and there it is, a 12th round for the, I guess, majority North American team. Obviously, Bentet from Indonesia.
Yeah, what a roster to put together. It's it was definitely a head scratcher for many, and but obviously, you know, the players I'm sure had a lot of say in who they were picking up and how it was going to go, and and you know what, honestly looks like so far out of the gate, you know, you can see the argument for each player and the positions that they play on the team. It's looking good so far. It's a nice and coordinated retake after the initial picks. North, though, they just need a couple fortuitous moments, I feel, to turn the tide.
What you'll see North do a lot is they almost constantly throw the catwalk cross smokes, and they throw a third smoke, and they also throw the CT drop down smoke. So they run that a lot to create like a pattern, and then they do a lot of different variations off of that. Either they will just do the cat CT drop and actually attack A, or they'll shuffle all their numbers back and actually hit like 3 or 4 players out long A, or they'll run into a mid B split. And so it does make them a little bit hard to read, but this round they're actually holding their utility, and they're actually just using it to go for a little bit of a faster mid B split, it appears. They're molling to make sure there's no boosted player. Now they're just going to run it up.
Davs here on the scaffold, and this is a great position. They don't anticipate this. The trade comes through, but that's actually not too bad from Davs. He picks up 1. Oh, God, that is that's quite the entry from AZ. Instantly finds Som, instantly takes him down. And that's going to be a wrap in this round for Gen.G. There's nothing they can do. That's way too successful. And once if you get just instant entries on a B split like that, the rotation times are just too punishing for the CTs to recover.
Again, that's AZ kind of in that new entry role for this team with MSL coming back on board, and, you know, Gen.B taking over the B tunnels position, KRB moving over to long A, which I think was like an old Valda position. He's actually taken over a lot of Valda's old roles with MSL coming on board. But AZ, again, you know, he's top 5 in opening kills per round, and there you see it there, 2 big kills to get North their 8th round and keep them in the hunt of this first map of the series. They haven't had a whole lot of like hopeful things to hold on to throughout this game, but now they're starting to find their footing. We've been able to see them get a couple of key rounds here. Lovely.
Headshots galore. Okay, into the next one. North looking to try to find more success. And we're talking about them turning the tide. If they win this round, they'll break the money of Gen.G.
Yep.
And it will be 9 to 12. And North will be perhaps well on their way to a 10 to 12. And then all of a sudden it looks fairly even. So with all the struggles that we've seen out of North, they're very much in this one still and looking to convert this into a win entirely. It was an 11-4 start for Gen.G, but they found limited success so far.
Again, just that same 1-3-1 opening for North. You're going to see them kind of use that as their bread and butter. That's what you expect from an SL team. He gets that initial foundation. He's going to work from that, make those mid-round reads, maybe some set pieces down the line to have a change of pace. But right now, it's just kind of keeping it basic. No real commitment yet. Again, I expect to see them start running those smokes over towards Cat, maybe Elevator, maybe CT Slope, and then just kind of work different plays from that positioning. It's kind of what they're used to. They've already pulled KRB off of long, though, so that's worth noting. So they're going to go heavy-handed again towards maybe. This time, Gage dry peeking.
Yeah, he had a really forward position just getting out there. Fortunately for Gen.G, they don't have anybody to expose from that position, but they're locked into the site. They're in a spot where they're going to get split on, and they're going to sit in the site to try to defend it. It will be difficult, but if timing is with them, they might be able to pull this one off. Som there at the bottom with the M4A1. Maybe not the most ideal weapon for this, but he'll do what he can. He's going to be burned, actually, trying to do what he can on the side, but they'll get picks towards A, so they're just going to go back to A. They know it's just the B players alive, and they're going to let them just stew in that B bomb site. There's nothing that they can do. North giving them the runarounds. Very well done. Baiting the rotation and then just owning it, and then picking up the
mid B play turn into, you know what, let's just go back through CT spawn to the A bomb site.
Yeah.
So kind of a weird one. Very crafty stuff there from MSL. It's a 9th round for North. Now they're starting to get their momentum rolling, as you noted. Not much money there for the side of Gen.G, so kind of a freebie for North to meet Gen.G in the double digits column when it comes to rounds 1. At least you'd hope so.
Yep.
There are some upgraded pistols and some nades out there. We'll see.
CT side does too is very, very difficult.
Yep.
Very difficult. North experienced it on the first half, but they may even stand to have a better T side than Gen.G did if things continue this way. You know, we talked about that situation when Gen.G's money gets broken and what's likely to happen after that. North likely to getting that 10-12 on the board very shortly. There's not too much left to defend here for Gen.G. They've got 2 players around the EA bomb site, but just with pistols, no utility to speak of to slow things down for North. But Kusta is in that fairly forward position on elbow. If he's able to get a couple fast entries, that would be pretty huge. And here goes MSL. He's ready for it. Oh god, he takes a lot of damage though. Kusta drops off. Gade might be looking for it. Ooh, looked like there was a chance there. Som in the back on the distraction, trying to catch somebody as well. Not successful though.
Damage being dealt though from Gen.G to North. They have a kill. KRB though catching down from the lower tunnels that helps alleviate things. Automatic was boosted. Good for 1. That's going to be it though. So they're being a bit pesky, but not enough to cause North to break a sweat. As it's now just been Tet with this 5-7 in CT spawn, who will actually try to run. Actually beats the timing on that. Starts running through, but AZ was still ready for it. Had an idea that maybe Bentet would still push, and he is going to be right. Gets the kill. That's a 10th for North, as expected. But now the buy up here coming in from Gen.G. I'm curious, does Sam go for the second op? I know he does play that B rotator position. I know I've seen him do it a couple of times in the past, so it's definitely an option on the table. As Automatic will certainly get his sniper. Sam yet to buy, as it is a little bit of a timeout going on here. It's attack coming in from Gen.G. We do see Alma Putty there, giving some extra insight, I'm sure. He carried over with the core 3 from Cloud9. I think he was, what, their analyst, because James IRL was their coach. It is a double up from Sam in the end. So you will see that out in the next round.
This is an interesting moment, you know, for Gen.G. All that momentum that they had is just really, truly now is truly now gone. North are right back in this. They're the ones that have the momentum and the confidence, and so Gen.G have to prove that they can do it in less than ideal circumstances. And it's a fairly classic setup here. Daps playing pretty close to the mid doors.
And the thing is, North haven't even had to show their hand yet, really, Dan. Like, they've been able to win these rounds just off of, like, basic defaults, limited utility use required. You see this round just opening up with a scrappy mid-exchange, and North are going to come out ahead in the fight. They're on a 4-on-3, but Bentet could play spoiler. He's on this cat push. He might catch one in Subway, who's vulnerable. That is indeed KRB taken off the board. So Bintet, just great reactionary CS, but B is now vulnerable, and it is going to be taken any moment now, it does seem.
Yeah, and for Gen.G, it's too risky to try to go for a rotation unless you're sure, because you'll spend a lot of time out of position. And it seems like they've figured out what's going on now. Automatic's now holding the door, which allows Kusta to get closer. Now it's been smoked off. Bintet's there as well. This is going to be a retake and a half here for Gen.G. They're going to go for it. Kusta straight through the smoke with the flashbang. He'll get taken down first. Bintet's crept out, though. And he's in a close position by the car, but it's just him. Nice shot from MSL. It will take him down with that AWP. And that's going to be another round for Gen.G. Well, sorry, for North, I should say. Well played by North to finish that one off. I like the setup from the CTs. I felt like that the timing of dabs, you know, crunching in on Catwalk at the same time. I felt like there was a lot of potential there, but for Gen.G, they weren't able to execute it well enough.
It was just that mid-exchange that North won. You know, trading 2 for 1, forcing B to be vulnerable. Even with Bintet making playoff cat, it wasn't enough. And now you can see Gen.G, not much to work with. North, a great way to tie this thing up now. They do see Kusta playing up close on the blue bin. Maybe going to get unchecked. Maybe does play some spoiler, but nah, KRB's not going to have any of that.
Great flash. A lot of detail. A lot of awareness. Oh, did he get a tag? I don't think he did. Because MSL only went down to 61. Maybe he did, I'm not sure. Either way, Bintet with a scout on the A-bomb side. That's not too much considering that there's 5 players sitting on long, ready to attack.
That's also already flanked their B tunnels into T-spawn, so at least Gen.G knows what they're up against. They know that everyone's at long. They've rotated all their players here. Dat's also in pinching position. The thing is, they just don't have the firepower to really make this work, but they're giving themselves the best chance on their positioning at least.
And North have given everything up, and they know it, so they should reasonably assume that, this is going on. Oh no, now this is getting very dangerous. Dats has a moment to go for that flank, and Gade has to make the move forwards up onto the bomb site. He's going to find one. It's up to Automatic now on the site. He's being spotted, and he will be taken out as well. So 12-12. Finally, North have tied the score. It's been a long comeback, but they've got there.
Now we got a game on our hands all of a sudden, man. It's getting real tense up here. Again, this is for a shot at the Grand Finals. This is for a shot at winning the Lion's Share for $100,000. It's moving up in the Pro Tour rankings for future invitations, and it's also booking you a ticket to Unsharping for DreamHack Masters in just a few months. So there is so much on the line for both of these new, fresh lineups who are trying to prove themselves and establish their presence in the scene. This is their first chance to really leave their mark. So they're going to be fighting hard here. Again, these mid-exchanges between Gade and AZ have been very favorable for North, you feel. That's kind of the ticket, I think, for Gen.G to try to either not take those fights or handle them more efficiently or, you know, just change things up.
Catwalk control, the standard default playing out for North here.
3 cat for Gen.G though, Dan. They are contesting this very heavily, which I think is just kind of them recognizing North love to control cat early every single round and use it for different variations. And so if you deny them that launching platform, you can really throw a wrench in things. And that's exactly what they've been doing this round with this utility.
Gade is so lucky to be alive right now. That HE put it down to 2 HP. Yikes. And then once again, the 2-3 A split comes through for North. Gen.G will likely try to clear cat at some point. There it goes, looking to go for the retake with the incendiary. Gade's forced to smoke it off. They know that he's in that corner. He's got 2 HP. Anything will kill him at this point. And they go back to the site. There's a quick flash from Bintet. He knows what's going on, trying to get position. The furthest position he can get is towards Gandalf. And Kusta will take down Gade now finally on short, which allows the rest of Gen.G to go short for that retake. So a 5v3 retake situation for Gen.G. They're looking pretty good in terms of the numbers, and Bintet, his position unchecked, finds a quick kill, makes it even worse for North. Kirby trying to do what he can here, but he's unable to do anything, and MSL by himself in the pit position with the AWP. It's not looking good at all. They can easily go for this defuse. They're going to all swing at once. MSL's in so much trouble. Able to get one. Kusta goes down. Given a chance, but inevitably it will be the round 1 by Gen.G, and in a timely fashion denying North from taking the lead.
Again, just denying that catwalk presence that North kind of rely on to set up most of their tactics. It forced them to cause an audible and have to kind of redirect their numbers back towards long A. And while that certainly gave North a way into the site, they kind of read the situation appropriately and kind of got away from it. Gen.G also had their protocols in place to be able to back off of catwalk and still handle, the long cross and handle the retaking process. And they had the numbers all the way through after those favorable kills towards mid and cat that they were able to collect off of that mid and cat aggression. So well orchestrated by Gen.G. They do take that lead right back.
So knows his angles. Oh, he does a good chunk of damage to AZ. That's great, actually. Forced back by the flashbang. North don't want any CTs playing close to the double doors, so got to keep that presence alive. Also, you want to try to convince the other team to have, a player in CT, which really weakens the A-bomb site. You can see that there's nobody on the site, so it's really rough for Gen.G at the moment, but this is just one of those typical Dust 2 situations for the CT side. HE for Benta, he knows exactly where they're coming from. Oh, good HE connection. And North actually not up on the elbow position just yet, really slowing things down.
Yeah, this utility from Gen.G has been on points, doing damage to Gate and AZ. It's slowing everything down. There's still a lot of time left on the clock, but still North not getting out as fast as they want to. They're going to go for the drop down on the CT slope. Sound, though, perfectly prepared for it. Lines up two. Gate eventually able to trade it back, but still the man advantage for Gen.G, but not for long here. Beyond the backstab catches Kusta. It's all on Vincent now at Goose, but he's up to the task. He's found a couple in his own right. It's all on Kierby.
Almost thought he was going to get that last one. Bentet looks so good in that position. Kirby, oh, great shot there. Just pops Dap's head like a grape. And now he's going to have the hard job of getting the plant. Oh, just barely gets the bomb. What a gauntlet. Now he's got 10 seconds to plant the bomb. He has to cross the smokes there to cover. Will there be a jump, though? Waiting. Oh, he's found a shot that he manages to nail it. That was so scary. So scary for Kirby. Oh, man,
I thought that would be way less labor because he actually did happen to catch him jump off the catwalk. And I was like, man, he has the perfect information he needs. And then still it was a bit labored in the end. But nonetheless, Kierby, actually the top performer for North this tournament. He's one of the top performers overall in this event when it comes to rating and KD difference. In fact, I think he has the best KD difference coming into it outside of Poison from Complexity, who's just been an absolute monster. So he's number 2 overall in that category. So to see him come out, make a big play, that's definitely great news for North.
Yeah, what an important round as well. We're really getting into the dying rounds of this first map, and both of these teams suddenly playing very close to one another, but the clutches, that's where things always are decided, and here is North with that last clutch win. That's really going to rock the economy of Gen.G. They're not in a great spot in terms of their economy, but they have enough to get the AWP out. There's an MP9 on Bentet, and everyone else has rifles, lacking a few nades here. I don't see a kit as well, so that's a problem too.
So definitely a problem for those retakes, no doubt about it. And we've seen a lot of those situations come up, so definitely could be a really big factor in things. As again, we see North, the tried and true, the 1-3-1, the cat presence early. Just sticking to really the same kind of base default, but again, no surprise when you think of MSL. As KGB will be using some support flashes from lower tunnels to help them clear their way up into stairs and get that first level of catwalk that you want. Forces the CTs to have to reconsider their rotations and whether it's going to be a cat split or a mid B. You can shift so quickly between the two as a T. That's what makes this map so hard on the defense.
Automatic, great position. This is a great spot to go for the AWP aggression. He finds it. I don't think they've really done an AWP push, slow push just yet, so it's a great round to bring it out. You catch one of the D4 players playing the extremity, and now they know the B player's coming forwards. It's a question of getting position. It's going to be difficult. Both playing under the window. Automatic, great shot. Oh, it goes for the quick scope. I think quick click too quickly, but it doesn't quite matter. Picks it up anyway. Automatic with the B side defense, looking to clear it all out for the ace. It's stolen Kusta. Oh, how could you do this? But still, it doesn't matter. They got the W.
Yeah, the W is what matters most, let's be honest. But come on, man, let him get his ace. I don't know if we've had an ace hit this tournament, to be fair. I didn't see the games that Harry and Hugo did, but
I think we saw an ace or two, yes.
Maybe one on Vertigo on that crazy overtime game.
But
or multiple times game on first day. There might have been one there. I know there was a couple of quad kills from Flit, but not sure if we actually had the ace. But either way, we're still denied at 10.
Indeed, and we'll see that classic Molly come across to the doors to deny fast entries. So no long control immediately, but looks like they might want to go for a delayed long control. They're hanging out outside the longhouse. So looking to wait for that moment where there's only one player on long to go for the attack.
Automatic has been so impactful throughout this game. Him and Sam have really left off the page, you have to feel. And then Ben-Tet is like the one quietly just getting a bunch of frags, whether it be on cleanup duty or clutch moments. So they're really getting it all, but this time it's Kusta who says, you know what, I want a little bit of shine. Anchoring that long A position, finds a couple of big kills and moving Gen.G ever closer to that point. Those are some big duels to win when the pressure's on, the score is close, and losing a couple players like that in a long A push, that's a huge blow to North.
Yeah, such a strong angle, and he played it to perfection. Now Automatic steps up to the plate once again with the AWP on the A side on Goose, although they'll mostly go for the cat drop, and now he's got two positions to worry about. He doesn't have... Actually, there is a player on long who can actually crossfire with him, and that's indeed going to help out enormously. Daps takes care of the one on long, and Automatic finishes off the cat push. Beautiful stuff. Gen.G really coming to life now, finding their footing finally on this CT side right at the end. North got so close, they won so many rounds, but now it's all Gen.G.
Yeah, they just have all their bases covered, whether it was Sam's entry work on the T side or Automatic's dynamic hopping, changing up his positioning, you know, dealing with pressure situations well. And then again, Ben-Tet is at 26 kills, just taking care of all the dirty work. 98 ADR to his name. So they are absolutely crushing it. Also, their utility damage has been off the charts, man. I mean, some of the utility damage that we're seeing guys like Kusta and Automatic get, as well as Ben-Tet, it's far superior to what North's been able to accomplish with their own HE grenades and such as well. So they're winning that battle also.
Big confidence from Automatic. You know, the buy's a bit rubbish for North, but they have to force it as well. So he takes that mid peak, and he's going for the lower dark transition. And there's a free one. Doesn't need to step out for any more. That's advantage enough. They know that they're already in advantage in terms of weaponry. And this, oh man, adding insult to injury with this boost. Will that nade find the finish? Yes, it will. Nails AZ. And now there's only 3 left standing. This is so catastrophic for North. They've got nothing left before they could even get started, Dust.
Get the Viking ships ready. Send them out to pasture on that lake and shoot the fiery arrows, because I think this one's done. It would be an incredible feat for North to come back from this one, and as I say that, it just gets further and further away from being a possibility. Automatic catching Gade there, now just Kierby and Cajun B. It's been such a brilliant game from Gen.G through and through. I've been so impressed by their approach, and it looks like they're going to be one step closer to the grand finals here any moment.
Oh, yikes. It's the victory lap, isn't it, for Automatic at the very least? And here it is, the last kill. It will be delivered by Som. Great performance from Gen.G. You got to